Welcome everybody to Tuesday, November 1st, 2016 Board of Selectmen meeting. A little after 6:15, we're going to go into executive session for a short time. We're going to have executive session with John Shortsleeve, Bay State Consultants. Purpose: discuss competitively sensitive information associated with the Foxboro Municipal Aggregation Plan. And we're going to move on from that and discuss strategy with respect to the value lease of real property per.
We're going to postpone that.
You're going to postpone that one?
Yeah. So
What about the last one?
the last one will be discussed.
Okay,
Good.
so, we'll update discussion on strategy pertaining to litigation per GL Chapter 30A, Subchapter 21, Paragraph 3, John Doe 1 versus Boy Scouts of America et al. We'll come out of executive session, and I'll read the agenda. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
Move to go into executive session.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye. Mark, yes.
Chris, yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Ginny?
Yes.
And I'm yes. We back. Welcome back, everybody. Running a little bit behind. Read the agenda. 7 o'clock, citizen input. Topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair 48 hours in advance of meeting. 7:10, MPS LLC public hearing, discussion vote, MIAA High School Super Bowls. 7:20, John Shortsleeve, Bay State Consultants Municipal Aggregation Plan Update and Action Plan. 7:35, Deb Giardino, Melissa Mailing, discussion vote on Melissa Mailing becoming a member of the Board of Recreation with term expiring 5/1/19. 7:45, Linda Walsh, Child Sexual Abuse Committee, acceptance of gift donations. 7:55, Bill Keegan, special town meeting warrant review discussion. 8:05, Selectmen's update. 8:15, Bill Keegan, town manager update. 8:25, Mary Beth Bernard, assistant town manager update. Doc, would you lead us in pledge allegiance?
Yep. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, 7:20. Is anybody here for citizens input?
Jay.
Jay.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. I bring greetings from the State House. I just wanted to let you all know, and the public as well, that the town manager and I got a call yesterday morning from the Lieutenant Governor's office and the Housing and Economic Development Secretary Jay Ash, that they were going to come, they would like to come out to Foxboro on this Friday at 2:15 for an important announcement. That's what we got for information. So I can only assume that it's a pretty important announcement when the two of those folks show up, and they're going to meet us and greet us at Forbes Crossing. So I hope that all of you can attend, and I think I know what it is, but I don't know to what extent. But if I could just take a couple of minutes, because I think it's important to share not only with you, but with the public, kind of the timeline of how this event is coming to fruition. And you all had a big piece of it, and I thank you for that. But first off, just a quick timeline. Back on the 12th of February in 2015, the Tri-Town Chamber of Commerce invited the three town managers from Mansfield, Norton, and Foxborough to come together and talk to the regional economic development team. And there were a lot of issues that were brought up, a lot of input from all. That led us to getting Jay Ash, who is the secretary, to come out and visit us on the 17th of September 2015. And Bill Keegan led the tour of Foxborough. Bill Ross led the tour of Mansfield, and Mike Units led the tour of Norton, to kind of show him what we were doing collectively and together regionally on the success of our communities and how much better we could make them if we get some statewide help. From the 17th of September to the 15th of October in 2015, Serpent announced that they would do a Route 140 corridor study. So that came together pretty quick. On the 2nd of November, through Ginny Capola's advocacy, as well as the rest of the board, we had a meeting with Mass DOT District 5 and some statewide folks that joined us at the Senior Center in Foxboro, climbed on a bus, and we took a ride. And we took that ride, and we ended up down at Forbes Crossing, and it was at that point that things were starting to look like things were going to come together. We all exited the bus, we all looked around, and we said, what can we do here at that intersection of Copeland Drive and Forbes Boulevard? Because it is, if anybody drives through there, it's pretty horrifying. We got a little flashing yellow light that's the size of a small flashlight, and the red's a little bigger, but it's you know, heavily traveled, a lot of traffic off of Commercial onto Forbes to cut into Jake and Joe's, or cut into the Lodge, or cut into the Marriott, and so on and so forth. So it's a pretty busy area. So the folks in the bus said, this really looks like a great place for a roundabout, because signalization won't work. And so we said, okay, that sounds like a great idea. What do we have to do? So on the 5th of January, just about 2 months later, Roger Hill sent a letter to District 5 and suggested that we kind of land around this roundabout idea. And then it started. Plans were presented less than a month later. They weren't complete, but they were presented to District 5 on February 1st, 2016. Town manager and I and Roger Hill went down there with other folks, town engineer, and presented the plan, and they kicked it around. On 9/1/2016, a Mass Works grant was filed by Paige Duncan, our town planner, new town planner, and got that in. And now on November 4th, they're going to make some sort of an announcement. So I am really proud of all of you, certainly you and your staff, that people came together and went to work. We had a great letter of support from the town of Mansfield, who this has as much impact on, if not more, because so many people travel to get on 95. The work on the 140 corridor study, which goes from Foxboro to Norton, is coming to fruition. We should see some results of that soon, whatever the word soon means. You know, when you look back at this, 2/12/15, it is now the first day of November in 2016. It still took a long time, but, you know, Selectmen, DeBellis, you know it takes a long time sometimes to get projects approved. So this is pretty cool to see this happen, and it's going to have a great impact not only on the community, but that area as well, in economic development for the future, you know, of Foxfield Plaza, along with the Commerce Center on the Foxborough side, as well as Mansfield. So we're really excited about it. But everybody really pitched in. It shows what a good team can do, led by a good manager. And I'm just pleased to be here tonight to say, come on the 4th, and you'll learn, like the rest of us, what we are going to see for support from the Commonwealth.
What the good representative fails to tell you, though, is that he worked really hard on this thing to make this happen as well. So, and that should not be underestimated in any way, shape, or form. I want to thank him, as well as Senator Jim Timmelty as well,
Right.
and Secretary Ash, because he really spent some time. We were on the phone several times talking
Right.
about this and making this happen, reminding him that we really do need this. And he said that we have a new round coming out in August, and I think we were like the first or second group that applied.
Right. Well, then we had to get it rebudgeted during this last session, which happened on July 30th, I think, was when we finally cast the vote.
Right.
But yes, and apologies, Senator Timmelty, Representative Poirier, Representative Howitt, Representative Kafka, working together to support that Route 140 corridor study, which kind of led us down the road of where a big problem was that existed. So everybody working together, and again, the Secretary, the Lieutenant Governor, the Governor, they all know what's going on down here, and you know, there's really good work being done, and great growth and great teamwork. So everybody working together, and but thank you, I appreciate it. And so let's show up on the 4th and find out what it's going to be.
See what the surprise is, but it's we don't know what the number is. We don't know what we don't know what it. But we're pretty optimistic that it's a good size number. It'll get this project done, and that I know the developers, pretty happy too.
And they're
You know,
contributing as
They're
well.
contributing as well.
So we're really
They
happy
have-
with,
They have contributed to the design. I mean, they
Right.
really helped with design efforts on this project, which was something that was part of their approval process with the planning board for that entire project. So they lived up to their end of the bargain on this one as well, so that's a good thing.
it's all good.
Thanks,
That's all we
Jay.
got.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
So
Sure.
hopefully I
See
see
you
you all on the 4th.
Text me the number, I'll be in Florida.
I'm hoping it's 6 digits.
Yeah, we
I
all.
won't put a comma in. How's
That's
that?
right, that's right.
All
All
right,
right.
thanks a lot. Good
Thanks.
luck.
Thanks,
All
Jay.
right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Representative.
Anybody else here for citizens input? Seeing none. 7:10, MPS LLC, public hearing, discussion vote, MIAA High School Super Bowl.
The Board of Selectmen, acting as the local licensing authority pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 140, Section 181, and Section 183A, and Chapter 136, Section 4, Code of the Town of Foxboro, Chapter 229, and also Stadium Rules and Regulations, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, November 1st, 2016, beginning at 7:10 PM in the Foxborough High School Media Center, 120 South Street, to review the application submitted by NPS LLC for the 2016 MIAA High School Super Bowls. This event is proposed for Gillette Stadium. Application for this event is on file at the Office of Selectmen. All interested parties are welcome to attend.
Welcome.
Thank you. Jesse Yonis with Gillette Stadium.
And Phil Buttafuoco at Gillette Stadium. So we're excited. This is the 10th year that we would host the MIA Championships. It's amazing how much how time does fly, which means we've hosted quite a few student athletes that have enjoyed the opportunity to play at the home of the champions here at Gillette Stadium. It is Saturday, the 3rd of December. It would be 6 games, as it has in the past. The first game starts at 9 a.m. The parking lots and the ticket office would open at 8 a.m. The last game is scheduled for 8 p.m. With a completion approximately at 9:30 that night. We do not allow tailgating in the parking lots, and we work with all of the teams through their administration as far as expectations and all behavior for the students as well as the fans that attend the games. Knock on wood, we've had very good luck with conduct over the last number of years. We do leave the middle section on the east side open so that there is a separation for the fans representing the two teams. It doesn't look great on TV, but it serves a purpose. All the fans are seated on the east side of the stadium, 100 level only, no club seats. And the MIA staff administers the event, but certainly our staff is there to manage the operation of the stadium and all. Pretty simple, if you will, event from a crowd standpoint. We expect about 18,000 people during the day in a flow, approximately 3,000 at a time. Fans come in for their team, fans leave at the end of that game. There really aren't many fans, if any, that stay for multiple games just as football fans. We're just not in the southeast part of the country where that would be expected and be the norm. So it is a great event, and certainly happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions from the board?
If you were a football fan, would one admission price for the 9 o'clock in the morning game get you in there for the entire day?
Yes, it would. With a lot of hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually pretty cold that day.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
We've had
Any other
some
questions?
interesting days.
No, this is a great thing.
Being it is a public hearing, does anybody in the audience have any questions or concerns? Seeing none, we have a motion.
Move to accept the application.
Close.
the public hearing.
I apologize. They always get me on that. So. Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Ready? Move to accept the application from NPS for the 2016 MIAA High School Super Bowls.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Good luck.
Great,
Very
thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good to see everybody.
Well, after 7:30, John Shortsleeve, Bay State Consultants, Municipal Aggregation Plan Update and Action Plan.
Okay.
Ready for me?
Yeah.
So the update, this is, in the spring, the town meeting approved, authorized the development of the aggregation. The plan has been developed, it's been filed with the state, it's gone through the DOER process. We're now at the point where we're waiting for DPU approval, which we expect soon, imminent. We've started the procurement effort back in July. We've gone through a series of steps, the most recent being indicative prices, and we're now want to go to the executable pricing round. Purpose of tonight's meeting is, I guess the football analogy is we're maybe on the 10-yard line and trying to get this thing into the end zone. I think the purpose of this evening is to seek authority for the town manager to make a decision when the prices come in, because when the prices come in, they'll only be good that day.
Can you just give a brief background, just to remind people that are either in the audience or at home,
What
this
is municipal
all about
aggregation?
and-
Sure.
and the ability to opt out?
Yep. So municipal aggregation, the town has been, in 1997 is when they passed the Electric Restructuring Act, and it deregulated, divided electricity into two pieces, delivery and supply. And since then, the big consumers, including the town, have been actively competing in the market. The residents and the small businesses have not had the same opportunity. Municipal aggregation is a tool available to cities and towns that allows the town to procure a supply contract for electricity that is then made available to all the residents and the small businesses in the town. Folks are automatically enrolled in that program once it is launched, but folks have the opportunity to opt out before it starts, and they have the ability to opt out at any time after it starts. It's not a typical contract where someone is locked in for a period of time. The supplier is, but the consumers aren't. So it's a very consumer-friendly project. It's a well-vetted, consumer-friendly contract. The objective is to save money, but by definition, it'll be a contract that is fixed for a period of time. People, I think, understand that the basic service rates of the utility are quite volatile. So by definition, this will be above basic service some months and below in other months. It's a group purchasing concept to give all of the residents and small consumers a choice.
Thank you.
Oh, and also, can you mention that the billing will be done by National Grid?
Once this program is launched, probably thinking of maybe a February launch of the program. All of the billing will be by National Grid. The folks, anyone that is residents right now that are get their delivery and their supply from National Grid, they'll get the same bill from National Grid. All that will change is the line on the bottom of the bill that says supply at the basic service rate of X will say supply at the program rate of Y.
John, so we had a pretty healthy discussion in executive session, and you brought us all up to speed on the technical parts of this, but what I don't understand is you just said the prices are good for one day?
What I mean by that is that the prices will be bid on a bid date, and the supplier will commit to that price on that bid date.
Okay.
If the town chooses to execute, then the price is good for the term of the
For the term,
contract.
okay.
But
So
there's-
the logistics of, so it's gonna be an open bid process, you open up the bids. So what we're doing is we're authorizing the town manager to sign on our behalf. Do we need to have another meeting to review those bids with him, or are we just giving the town manager
What has to
the
be done
authority
that-
to sign it?
That day is
The
usually
bid
what
can
happens.
set
Yeah,
that.
we would have to give Bill the authority, because if, for us to call another meeting,
Mhm.
To be
those bids will
posted.
no longer be in effect. So, based on the indicative pricing, like we talked about, we have a general idea where the number's gonna be.
Okay, so from this point on, we're waiting for the DPU to approve
Our plan.
the plan. Then it goes out to the bid, and that was a 3 weeks here, talked about, it goes out to bid, it comes in, and then you have the authority to review them all and sign on the dotted line without our involvement from this day forward.
Or reject them
Or
all.
reject.
Or rejecting it, it'll be after conferring with our consultant on it.
Okay.
Question, the prices that we would be going out to bid for, we already do this within the town, all the municipal
Yes.
buildings and everything. So now we're including all the residents. Are all the residents, if we sign on the dotted line, are they automatically in, or do they have to opt in?
It's in Massachusetts, it's a, what they call an opt-out program.
Okay,
That means that everybody is automatically enrolled unless they opt out.
okay,
They can opt out, there'll be a public education program before launch that's 30 to 45 days long. Mailing goes out to all the residents, there's a postcard included in the mailing, so they can return it and opt out before the program starts. If they don't do that, or they consider it junk mail and throw it away, they'll be automatically enrolled. If they don't like what they see when they're in, they can then pick up the phone and opt out at any time.
okay. Is there any part of that contractual obligation that if half of the town opts out within a certain amount of time, that price is?
No,
So
the
if
supplier's
everybody
committed,
opted out the next day, we're still at that price,
the
okay?
supplier takes that risk.
The tentative prices that we discussed, I mean, are those in the ballpark of what you guys are paying now for?
That's a good question. It's
I
been a
forget,
while.
frankly,
It's been a
where-
while since we did that. It's been at least a year.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't
almost a year.
remember what the Foxboro price is offhand.
It might have been better, because the rates have gone, drifted up a little bit.
So the
Based on
price
what we talked
that
about
we're
earlier.
currently municipality-wise is higher than this price, or the
No, I
prices
think, I
that we
think the
looked at?
municipal price might
Lower?
even be lower.
Might be.
Okay.
The town also has a different kind of contract. The town has what you call a basic service rate plus a capacity pass-through. It's not something that really works at the residential level. The town's got the ability to do things that,
Okay. Can you shoot us what we're, the number, like tomorrow or something via email, what we're
Sure,
currently
can.
doing?
find it out.
Okay.
Yeah, the rules are different for our municipalities, just so you know, it's not the same.
But
Same
then the
program.
rules
Exactly.
will change though if we're in this aggregate?
No,
No,
no, no, the rules of aggregation are different from them, that of municipalities. You know,
Okay.
the only thing that's the same is that we're getting the advantage of getting the contractual price, if you will, for the many that are participating.
the biggest distinction between the town contract and the one for the residents is that the town is locked in for a period of time and the residents aren't.
Okay, all right.
That's a good point, thank you.
John, how do you answer the question from a resident that invested in solar, or signed up with a green energy company, or a vendor like Viridian? How do they understand what happens to them on this process?
So if somebody's already signed up with Viridian or somebody else, they will not be, this only goes to, the mailing and the enrollment only goes to those that are on utility basic service.
Okay,
If you've got an existing contract, you're not gonna get a mailing. You'll have the option to opt in if you're, but you've gotta look at your contract and figure out if
to
you
opt out of
can.
the other one. Okay.
Right.
Mhm.
If, in terms of the net metering,
Mhm.
no impact on net metering.
Okay.
Net metering rates are unchanged.
Okay, so there's no negative impact for doing this to the resident that doesn't wanna do it
No.
because they have solar? Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So presently, if you are a Viridian client, you still get billed through National Grid, it's the same thing? or do
If
they have
you're-
a separate
So
billing?
if you, so Veridian is a supplier,
Mhm.
and they could have whatever their contract says they've got. I mean, they could be a 6-month contract, it could be an 8-month contract. You'd have to see to what it is, but, it's whatever Veridian negotiates with that homeowner.
Mhm.
This contract is going to be a contract, that, has been negotiated basically on behalf of 13 communities. And, you know, there'll be no hidden penalties, there'll be no teaser rates, there'll be, you know, the price will, you know, the opt-out letter that goes out has to get approved by the Consumer Division of the DPU before it is mailed. There's quite a bit of protection that goes into this contract and this aggregation concept. I'm used to procuring contracts for the Foxboroughs of the world where two parties are both committed. This is a very unusual deal.
Yeah, but presently, do the Viridian customers, do they get a National Grid bill, or do they get a separate,
No, they get a
a
national
different?
grid bill.
Oh, so,
National grid bill.
so it'll be this, everybody in town will be still getting National Grid bills.
there's-
Some will be, some, their source will be from, say, Viridian, and the other one will be, the source will be from the aggregate.
So the
that we
simple,
choose.
simple answer to your question is this, is that everybody's still gonna get a national grid bill. That won't change no matter what happens here. If you look on the back of your bill, though, if it says, it'll say source, your electric source, it'll say Viridian, Constellation, whatever the company is that you're currently using. Based on this, whatever comes out to be the acceptable bidder will say that name.
Okay, that's my question.
Any other questions?
I don't think so.
Motion?
Yeah, move to appoint, I guess, or, yeah, appoint,
Authorize.
authorize, okay, better, yep. Authorize Town Manager Bill Keegan to, how best word it, Bill?
To,
Enter into an
to
agreement.
decide the, or
To execute.
to execute the bid,
when appro-
final bid price?
Execute a bid if the price is reasonable.
Oh, to execute the bid.
But if the price is reasonable. Right.
Right, execute the contract.
Execute the contract if the price is
Correct.
agreeable, okay.
A second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
I'm a little behind. 7:35, Deb Giordino, Melissa Mailing. Discussion vote on Melissa Mailing becoming a member of the Board of Recreation with a term expiring 5/1/2019.
Hi, Debbie
Hello.
Giardino, Recreation Director, and with me is Melissa Mailing.
Hi.
As you have been forwarded, the Board of Recreation has unanimously forwarded to you Melissa Mailing's name to be considered as a new member of the Foxborough Board of Recreation. The opening was created with the stepping down of Jeff Downs, and Melissa was chosen for many reasons. She has a great background. If you don't know her, she's from Foxborough, raises her kids in Foxborough. She works in the IT department for the Foxborough Public Schools. But more importantly, she's involved with the children of the town. She is on the Booster Club for the high school soccer team. She runs, she's part of the Foxborough Youth Soccer Board. She's a member of that, and also is a coach. Corey certified, Darkness to Light certified, and also is a part of both of those organizations through the necessity of her volunteer positions. So she becomes highly recommended by us, stepping into some big shoes left by Jeff Downs, but I think we're paying her enough to be a member of our board, and she likes us. She had actually approached, what? She had approached us this summer, and after Jeff had stepped down, and had asked about joining. So here we are.
Great. Any questions from the board?
I have none.
Just
No.
don't want to reiterate what you said, but I've seen Melissa's work for years, and very excited to have you join the board.
Thank you.
As are we.
I'm sure you know what you're getting yourself into now. It's a good group, actually, it's a very good group.
Okay, if there's no questions, can
Move
do a
to,
motion?
move to approve Melissa Mailing's appointment to the Recreation Board.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, 7:47, I'm catching up here. Linda Walsh, Child Sexual Abuse Committee, acceptance of gift donations.
Jim, do you have those letters?
I do, yeah. I actually passed them out to the board. Do you need a copy of it?
Yes, please.
Do you have an extra copy?
Is it this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Mike gave you his.
Oh, good evening. Because of my health issues, I had to write everything out, so if I'm not paying attention to you, I'm reading. So,
Thanks.
just as preface to what I'm gonna say, Child Safety Committee was established 4 years ago, first informally, then by bylaw. It was established after revelations made before the board of the horrific abuses that had taken place at the hands of a town employee. So victims and survivors appeared in front of the board relating their stories of sexual abuse by town employee in graphic detail, most breaking down in tears. After assurances by the board, they would complete a thorough investigation, even bringing in outside help. The survivors were initially placated. 40 to 50 survivors, eyewitnesses went to the police initially to report their attacks. So with the board handling the past, this committee was formed to spread awareness and to work to train child handling personnel so as to prevent another horrific event. In doing our stated job, we're often presented by former victims of Bill Sheehan with their stories. Almost every training session, his name surfaces, or we are pulled aside for a story. It's gut-wrenching, horrible stories which end with, "What is the town doing?" At our meetings, I have to remind members of our mission that our mission is to train and the board is in charge of the past and what to do about it. It's been 4 years since the first promise. Like Jim goes to most of the meetings and different things come up from the past that I have to keep telling people we're not in charge of the past, we're in charge of working for the future. So this is why sometimes it gets a little, overlapping as far as our discussions. Now tonight, we have donations. We have a donation from 3 from Florida. These are focused around, his name is Aaron, who is, lived in Florida, and he was attacked by Bill Sheen after we sent him down there and recommended him for a position. The first donation was from his aunt. The second was from a lodge he belongs to, which had a small gathering. And the third was Aaron doubled the lodge donation. So, and this is the second time this Florida group has sent money to us. And it just blows me away that they're so concerned with what we do up here and where they're so harmed by our gift package we sent down there. So, let's see.
Send them down.
I think it was referring to, the school wrote a letter of recommendation.
I see.
When he left here, he went to Florida,
I see.
and then, in a short time, he was caught doing
Same thing.
the same thing here.
I see.
So in speaking personally with them down there, I found them to be very forgiving southern folk that realize the good work that we are doing up here to bring awareness to the prevalence of child sex abuse. They're truly great people. They represent 6 of the 7 donations that we have received by this committee. They don't even live here. Now, the 4th is from an anonymous donor, and let's see. I'd like to read the letter. Dear committee members, I would like to donate the sum of $5,000 to you to help in your work. After talking with Bob Correa, your chairman, he suggested that be dispersed in $500 increments over for 10 years to extend its use. I agreed to this. This money is from a settlement that several victims, survivors received from the Boy Scouts for their part in the horrific treatment we all were part of from William Sheehan and are still dealing with to this day. There's no way to describe the effects that we were left with that manifested itself to this day in divorces, alcohol, and drug dependency, ongoing health issues, unhealthy relationships, along with premature deaths and suicides. This donation is made with the many damaged survivors in mind that cannot speak up even to this day, be it from fear or just the feeling that it's useless to raise the issue again to another nodding board. Sorry for my impassioned diatribe, but after 40-plus years, we are still hurting. I hope, like the Boy Scouts, the town can close the book on this tragedy and apologize to the many out there that are still suffering physically, mentally, and monetarily. We need the help to bring closure. Most important is the work your committee is doing to help prevent future children from being victimized by these predators that lurk in all our communities. Thank you for all your help. It is a thankless job that is done by you through your hard work. Thank you, anonymous survivor, and it has a notation, P.S., why anonymous? It's not about me, it's for the many that are suffering from the past and the many that need your help for the future. This is a very hot, wrenching, whatever letter. The other letters from Aaron's were basically the one from the Tropical Lodge was to the members of the committee. It's my pleasure to present another check to you in honor of the victims of William Sheehan. On Tuesday, March 1st, I presented my Masonic Lodge with the story of my past, my connection to Foxboro. I named the committee as a charity of the month, and after the lodge was greeted by many of the brothers present, pressing what cash they had into my hands. While there's a relatively small group in attendance that night, I walked out with $55 donated to your cause. In gesture of appreciation for the generosity and love shown me, I'm doubling the contribution. Please accept this humble gift of $165 in honor of all the people whose lives have been affected by this tragedy. It sprang spontaneously from the benevolence and kindness of my Masonic brothers of Tropical Lodge, and is a testament to Freemasons and the love for all that is right, good, and square. I mean, like I said, these people are genuinely nice people. This was odd. Please accept this check in honor of my nephew, Aaron Everhard. Would you please let him know of my contribution? Thank you for all you are doing to help stop this sin. Sincerely, it's like Susan Promptly. So, anyways, this is pretty much the contributions I have tonight. They're all very generous, and I want you all to think of all, and we send the letters to express our thanks also.
Great, thank you. Thanks for coming and sharing these with us tonight. Mark, you wanna?
Do you want to do all four?
Yeah,
We'll
we'll
do it.
go through all four and we'll read them.
Okay. Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $100 to the Child Sexual Abuse Committee for support of education and awareness from Susan Bromberg.
Second.
Motion made, second, any further discussion?
Just under discussion, and I'll be brief. Three quick things. One, I wanna thank Linda and Bob. It was referenced in the letter, a thankless job. You know, a lot of times people come to this table because it's the topic of the day and gets a lot of excitement and people jump onto things. This has been going on now for 4 years, and Bob runs a very forward ship on this. I've been to the meetings, and it's all about moving forward, and it is thankless. And I've seen coaches rumble and grumble that they've got to take more training. What is this for? And the message that Bob says is it's for the kids and for the future, and you haven't wavered in 4 years, so it's a volunteer position, and you know that you and Linda and the whole group have done phenomenal things, training hundreds and hundreds of people for years now. No other place in the state has done that. Secondly, these people are hurting, and the people that you wouldn't expect to get money from, people from out of state, victims, and I know these people can use the money, but they're giving it to Foxboro, and under your guidance to spend it over the next 10 years is second to none. I just don't see that often. So, you know, again, thanks you to the donors. And the third, and we've mentioned it before, and I want to use this opportunity to remind people, almost unanimously this town voted for legislation change at the last town meeting. Before that, the same time the liquor license was going to go on. We were given, I was given the word by Jay Barrows and Senator Timilty that this will be resolved by the end of the year, which means Thanksgiving, which means the warrant articles that we have in there for Foxboro to strengthen the mandated reporters have sat there while all the liquor licenses have gone forward. I'm getting pissed about it. A lot of people are. And if this isn't done by the end of the year, we're going to take a contingency to the State House for the state reps and the state senators to see what's important. I don't understand why they can't, on all the open readings and sessions, can't give Foxboro what the voters had asked for, is get the legislation done. And all the other warrant articles have gone through, and we're all celebrating more liquor licenses, and this is somewhat forgotten, and we've mentioned at the table again, so. You know, we were given our word that it was going to be done by the end of this year. And I'm hoping that you guys don't back down on this as well.
No.
So,
We spoke to them outside.
oh, tonight, did you?
Any updates?
He did indicate that they're trying to get it out of third reading. It's in the Senate right now. That's where it's been. And Senator Timley's actually optimistic that it will get out of third reading, but that's the last update we've had.
So, well, I mean, Representative Barrows did say that, you know, it sounds like we're just gonna have to start from scratch again and get it in front of the people and not be late and all these things. Well, you know, I didn't feel like we were late because it went in at the same time with the liquor licenses, and it's difficult to be working hard on what we're working on, and on every other Tuesday night you hear these, you know, rah-rah, we got our liquor licenses, or we got this passed and that passed, and everything happened that same meeting. So it is frustrating for us, you know, never to even get an update from you folks about the other articles that went in at that same time. So, you know, we'll keep plugging along, and we'll keep pulling strings that we have to pull. But if we have to go in again, we will go in again. And
I think one of the problems that this article encountered was everyone thought it was a great idea because it was overdue at the state level. So I think they tried to take what Foxborough wanted to do and apply it to the state. And because of that, it hit a little bit of a quagmire.
they did, and we as a group told them that, you know, we'd be more than happy to help with the state, but what we want is for our town right now, because this did happen. There are victims, and, you know, I'm just gonna say it, I believe that an apology is owed, because the Boy Scouts understood it. So why can't our board understand that? I'm just gonna say that for
I
now,
appreciate it.
but I'm not done speaking in the future about that. Cause I'm trying to stay focused on the committee. Like Bob said, it's difficult at times to not look at the past when you grew up here in this town and you're at the trainings that go on, and people that grew up in this town are at those trainings, and their kids are out on those fields, and they remember things. So, it's difficult to put myself just as a committee member.
Thank you.
So thanks for your time.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now,
And we just
well,
did,
we've got three more.
Oh, you
Right.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $165 to the Child Sexual Abuse Committee for support of education and awareness from Aaron Everhart.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $5,000 to the Child Sexual Abuse Committee for the support of education and awareness and efforts of the committee from Anonymous.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $53 to the Child Sexual Abuse Committee for support of education and awareness from the Tropical Lodge number 56, F and A&M.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion?
Just, it's a pet peeve of mine, but it's a sexual abuse awareness committee. It should be on the record, not abuse committee.
Sexual abuse. So noted. Make that, make sure that's adjusted. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Bob, Linda?
I have one question. I think I still have ownership of the cash. Is that true? You people don't have it, the $5,000.
No, we have it
It's in the bank.
to the bank,
Why is that?
because we didn't wanna hold it in an envelope in our office.
No, I have a receipt for it from the collector.
Okay. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right, you
you have a
received it,
receipt.
but it's in the bank in terms of the town's holding it.
I have a receipt for her to hold it for me.
I understand, we can't just let the money sit around, it has to be deposited in an account. We
Right.
cannot do that, so,
I'm just saying it wasn't presented to you, so
I understand it, but
Okay.
$5,000 cash is a lot of money, we just don't leave it sitting around the building, that's a protection for the town's employees. We can't just let that happen.
So I think what's gonna happen is, because
It's in
the
the gift
letter
account.
came with a condition, or your recommendation, that 5,000 goes over 10 years.
Right.
So it'll be an account, a separate account, so the
Right.
finance department will know
correct.
it's
Where the money
earmarked for the
is.
Child Sexual Abuse Awareness Committee. Every year, you'll get a check, and then every year, you guys also give the Board of Selectmen a report
Right.
of goals and
And
objectives
we
and all
are,
that stuff, so that's a
just
check
as
and
an
balance.
update, that
Mhm.
will be done, we're working on that, now.
So, just so you understand how that works, Bob, and just for everybody's awareness, is that money isn't a gift account, so each year, the board will have to authorize an expenditure of up to $500 from that account. So a request should be made from this committee to the board for $500 to be spent for that purpose. So that's how that works.
And the other gifts, that were given,
Same thing, yeah, it's any amount that's in the gift account will be used, has to be requested by the board for authorization spent. That's how that works.
Respectfully, if we just accepted $5,000 to be used for the Sexual Abuse Awareness Committee, why
Right.
do we need to vote every year?
Because it's said to be spent over 10 years, $500 for each year for 10
Oh, yeah,
years.
but I'm saying that vote here says over the next 10 years, the money will be spent. Why do they need to come back to us for a vote every single year? If not, I'd rather vote to give you the authorization to do it.
You want to just give them the authorization to spend it $500,000?
No, I think you guys talked about it in your committee,
Okay.
and you recommended for it to go over 10 years. So we're being asked to authorize that expense under your guidance for the next 10 years. I just don't think they need to come back every year to ask for
Oh, fair enough.
$500.
Okay, fair enough. So I
It
guess
should
what
just
I'm
stay in
trying to
the
do
line item.
is that, once it gets into a gift account, if you put the condition on, they can spend up to $500 each year for the next 10 years. That's all they can spend is $500.
Because that's what you wanted, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But the other money
other
that we
money's in
approved,
there.
not the 5,000, the other
Doesn't have that does not
dollars,
have a
where does-
condition on it.
Does that go into the same gift
It goes into the
account?
same gift account, but doesn't have that condition on it.
So they can spend that however way they want?
There's no conditions on how you spend, you have to authorize that
They
expenditure.
generally spend it on materials and teacher.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but we don't have to
Yeah.
come back, ask
Right, you
permission to
wouldn't
use
have
it.
That's right, exactly.
Okay.
Also, another point, can we do a better job of getting you your mail? How would you like that
Yes,
to
I'm
happen?
gonna stop up there once a week
Okay.
and get it.
And
We
if you-
didn't even know we
Yeah.
had a
It
mailbox.
was- Yeah. it
I
was-
didn't realize that happened either, and, you know, we apologize if there's
Yep.
anything we can do to help get you
Nope.
your mail or
We'll
whatever.
just-
We can
we'll
get
just-
it now,
we'll
we know we
just-
have a
we'll
mailbox.
just stop
Okay.
and get it.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
you
you.
both
Very good,
for,
thank you.
for
everything.
coming tonight. In almost 8:10, Bill, special town meeting warrant review discussion.
Yeah, so the board has the list of articles. One article that I think that we would like to get some further input from the board on tonight is the item concerning the sewer expenditure. The board heard the presentation the other night. I did have some additional information that I can provide to you this evening relative to that particular item. I believe I sent it to you electronically, the report that came from Beta, indicating that there is, that we had further information from them indicating that that we assumed an existing capacity of 100 gallons per minute for the pump station, and existing flows are approximately 45 gallons per minute. Estimated flows from the two proposed services are approximately 10 gallons per minute. Estimated additional capacity of the connection of the two services and before a pump station upgrade is required would be 45 gallons per minute. Theoretical capacity to be sold after connection of the two services, which would mean the two services meaning the funeral home and the fire station. And before a pump station upgrade would be necessary is approximately 117 bedrooms, assuming 110 gallons per day flow from each bedroom. So that's a little bit clearer than what we had the other night, so I think that's really helpful. Also, the chairman had asked, I'll send this around to you, this is the number of tight tanks that exist in that neighborhood. There's actually two. One is located at 20 Granite Street, and it's a hair salon, Hair Ever After. And there's another one at 43 South Street, which is across the street from the town hall. It's called Here's to You, and it's a 325-gallon holding tank. And those are the areas that potentially could be hooked in as a result of this development of the line extension. Though I don't know if it will go that far for the South Street one, and I'm not sure about the Granite Street one as well. The Granite Street might be an additional area that was further up from that area.
These are all businesses.
But these are all the tight tanks that we had, I asked for the list of tight tanks, and she gave me this today.
But the residences on, like Market Street and everything, what they have is septic systems, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all in septic systems, but I can't expand them. I mean, and some of them are actually, they're very concerned about their capacity.
Actually, some of them might even be cesspools, right?
That's entirely possible, too. I don't know that
None
answer.
of these really apply to what we're discussing
Hmm.
here.
I don't think any of these are in the area.
Yeah, the question I asked was, where are the tight tanks, and this is the list that I got.
So I think, to further this, we need to identify,
Probably cesspools and,
Yeah.
what
what are the near-term issues?
near-term cesspool or,
Right, the near-term issues that the Board of Health has concerns with, number one. All right, number two, what is it gonna be, what's the approximate cost gonna be for the average resident to tie in?
and you can't really determine that until we actually bid it. So, because the connection charge, because of construction costs.
Well,
Right.
They know, listen.
I mean, there is a gallon cost once you connect. That's
Right.
that
So
we do know.
you have a sewer line running
Yeah.
right down
Right.
Market Street,
Mhm.
okay? Each house is approximately 45 feet from the center line.
Right.
Should be able to come up with an
rough
estimate. I mean, it's a budget number. You know, is it $10,000, is it $40,000, is it $5,000? You know, I mean, you can I would think that would be important, you know, so people can make a decision, you know, if I'm at short-term or long-term risk here, does it make sense that I may wanna participate?
So just to, I think it's important, for you to indicate the purpose of that is to understand how many people might connect,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
other than those two locations.
Right.
We know that people won't be obligated to connect, but they certainly have the ability to, yeah.
No, but if you know you have 15 households that within the next 3 years are gonna have to make a financial decision whether to try and replace their septic system or have the ability to tie into town sewer, you know, what's that cost? You know, for them to make that decision, they need to, you know, come up with a budget number in their minds.
Fair enough.
You know, if we're gonna spend X to put in a sewer, what's the return on investment? Not just, you know, obviously there's a return with the sale of the fire station.
Well, see, there's a couple other factors that have to be considered here. What would be the policy decision? That's a Water and Sewer Commission decision. Because at some point, they're gonna have to determine, is the town gonna support 100% of that cost, 50% of that cost? I mean, because there are different policies in different communities. So that's really a policy decision, so I don't know if you can actually get an actual number. You can do a straight breakdown number of that, but you're gonna have to at some point, you're gonna determine, are we gonna pay for the whole thing, or or is this town gonna assume some of that cost because of the value that it goes into those two sites that we just hope to redevelop? That's the consideration. Okay.
So it being November 1st, are we looking for a go, no-go on this, this list right now? Or this particular item, number 13?
I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions.
Well, I can probably get you some more answers before next Monday night on those items. Are there any other questions that we have to get unanswered right now?
On this one?
On this one, yeah.
Do you want me to go on?
Well,
I have serious reservations about this, and the same things I said at the joint meeting. There's been no borings done, and if we're talking about going down 17, 18 feet that someone had said on streets next to what they call Granite Street, and there's no contingencies thrown into the number.
Well, it was,
And-
it was a 25% contingency factor into that, into the number was
On
4.
some of it, but I think to get from the 4 to high, in the spreadsheets that I saw,
No, it went from, the original number was 300,000,
64.
Mhm.
375, and they bumped it to 468 for
okay.
25% contingency
Okay.
construction.
And also, what I remember him saying is there was no borings done. So,
Correct.
so when you're
Right.
going down into groundwater, into
Mhm.
ledge, to go all the way down to Centennial Court, all the way up Market Street, taking a right, going up to the center where the fire station is, if it's roughly numbers 500,000, and we don't know how many, if any, want to tie into that and what the cost is, for $500,000 just for that one property makes absolutely no sense, and I think we talked about that at the joint meeting.
Mhm.
So unless we have a plan that says, here are the neighbors that potentially want to tie in, this is how much it's gonna cost, and get a better number on the 25% contingency on a concept with no borings, if everyone's comfortable about that, to get all those answered before special town meeting, where we just got together with water and sewer, and they're not the policy makers on this. This is, they'll sell the sewer if it's there, how it affects the other ratepayers, what the cost is gonna be, to get this done in a couple weeks. Good luck. I don't see that in to a meeting where the majority of the people that are gonna vote on this are not on sewer, they're on septic, and that whole who pays for it, if it's not done right, it's not gonna pass. I just don't think it is in this late, you know. Best case scenario, we say it's gonna be this cost to go up there, and everyone ties into it, and they're thankful because they have the opportunity to expand their businesses and build on it. But again, I have not heard any meetings with businesses saying, I wanna do this. They may very well, but where are they, and why hasn't that happened before this
Well,
gets to this
it's sort of
point?
the chicken and egg thing, as I see it, because unless the sewer's there, you're not gonna get any developers come forward. I mean, I dare say to you, you build it, they'll come. And I mean that, because if you don't have sewer there, nobody's gonna knock on your door. So I think that's the problem you're suggesting, is that if you don't have the sewer capacity or the utilities, the town's gonna make an investment here if they're gonna try and help this. Most downtown redevelopment projects include sewer as the town's infrastructure. So then the question is the town gonna be committed to doing this?
Oh, yeah, I'm not disputing the thought process, and
Okay.
absolutely right. The downtown area will get developed if there's sewer there.
Right.
But are
So-
we in the business of saying, we'll just build it and they'll come? Or we're gonna have a thought process that says, here are the areas that can connect by gravity into it. These are the, this map with all the red parcels can tie into it. The blue parcels already have sewer. The 40-foot, what's it gonna cost? All of that stuff. It's just, that's the process I'm usually used to seeing, not just, let's build it, put it on the town warrant, or put these numbers on the town warrant and then figure it out later.
Well, the reason why this is getting confused is because we got 2 parcels that are sitting there, we can't develop them unless we have sewer.
That, I disagree with that.
Well,
You've got sewer.
you could, but you're not gonna
The fire
develop to its
station
full
is up-
capacity,
Absolutely, you can. You get the fire station already on sewer.
Yeah,
You've got the funeral parlor behind it that's not on sewer. Put a grinder pump, put it into that sewer and let it go the way it's going now.
but it's only in a 4-inch line.
4-inch line's plenty. Even if you wanna go a 6-inch line, you can blow that 4-inch line and make it a 6-inch without even excavating the road. You can do that underground. But so my point is, if we wanna build the fire station in our parcel by itself, we don't need to spend 500 to bring it down there. If we're gonna bring it down the back to let everyone tie in, that is a benefit to the town. But just to say we're gonna build it and then you can tie in later, without knowing what the betterments are gonna be, what the costs are, who's gonna pay for it, is it gonna affect the other residents that are on sewer, or the residents that aren't on a sewer? Those questions have to be answered, but not between now and 2 weeks.
So, but my understanding is that the policy of the Water and Sewer Commission is that they don't do betterments. I mean, so which one do we have to deal with here? I'm not really not clear on that.
They don't do forced betterments, right?
Fair
So,
enough,
so,
yeah,
so if you have a
fair
tight
enough,
tank, or
right.
you have a septic and you never wanna tie into
Right.
it, you don't have to. If you want to, then as an owner to this site, okay, this is what's gonna cost, this is what our excavation, to put this $500,000 line plus, whatever it comes out to, divided by how many residents that are gonna tie into it, that's the cost that everyone that would have to pay to tie into it, if they don't have to, if they don't want to. But is the town in the position to pay for the whole thing, or split it up evenly to everyone that's gonna benefit? If you've got a parcel that changes from a $300,000 to $1 million parcel, why should the town pay for that?
Mhm.
The owner of that land sees an increase in their value, they should pay for that betterment. So if the sewer department's not in the position to require it, then I think we gotta figure out what the policy is then.
Mhm.
I think we'll get
Well-
there, but within the next 2 weeks, I think.
Well,
it's-
I don't think you're gonna have, clearly you'd have to, I don't know if you'll ever get, the question, the concern I have is that whether you'll actually get people to agree to do that right up front. They may do it eventually, because once they see that line built, somebody will approach them and say, oh, now I can tie in and make this property
Yeah.
work. Which is to our benefit, the town's benefit overall, because you've got an improvement to that entire area. So that's the question. I think it's a little bit, I don't think it's as simple as getting some people to say, yeah, I do want it or I don't want it. If they want to increase the value of their property, clearly they would want it.
But I think the very first question is, if we're spending $500,000 to bring it up,
Right.
how many parcels can tie into it? Does anybody know?
You can do
Well, up to 117 bedrooms.
Okay, so 117 bedrooms can go into it, but how many
Right.
parcels? Who's gonna pay for it? So is it 5 parcels that are gonna do that, or one developer are gonna do it? That,
It really, it really depends upon what gets proposed.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had, somebody who wants to rebuild that entire area, they could come up with a higher density development that's currently there. And actually, that could help offset that cost rather significantly.
Okay. So if we got 117 bedrooms in that one corner of town,
Well, you wouldn't get that
You
many,
don't,
but
yeah.
you have up to 117. So if somebody proposes 40 bedrooms
yeah.
in that area, well, that's not unreasonable. I mean, that's a higher density development in that area. So but it could work conceivably, based on what's been proposed.
So
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. The way I'm looking at it, Jim, though, is it seems like to me, we have 2 dead areas up there with the fire station and the funeral home. And as, before I was on the board, what I kept hearing over and over again through the paper and through talk is that property isn't as valuable unless there's a sewer line that goes to that property. And that once that sewer line is built, that property becomes more financially viable, even more so than that bid of a year ago. And yeah, I mean, it might mean the town pulling the trigger and doing it, and it seemed like with our joint meeting last week, Randy said, to borrow the money in lieu of what would the potential benefit, it would be, without anybody else tying in, would be a feasible way to go. And I think, with all the talk that's gone on over the last couple of years, pulling the trigger and let's just get that sewer line down there, I absolutely think is the way to go. And if we can get that done in the next 2 weeks, I mean, it took us 4 months to finally meet with the sewer board, and it seemed like it was a good meeting. It sounded like everything I wanted to hear, and they were for it, and I don't think there was a committee member there that wasn't. At least it seemed like that to me. And I think, to my point of view, anybody that ties in is gravy.
So,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but.
Just from a different point of view,
But if anyone that ties in is gravy, that's fine, but we're spending $500 to get to, $500,000 to get to 2 buildings that already have sewer, or
Well-
you can do it for $50,000 to tie in.
Well, but
You know,
here's the question you gotta ask yourself, though. Why hasn't somebody done that?
somebody wanted to do that, we can go down that road, and they were gonna spend 550, which was more than what we expected, and they could have done it, and we said no, and we are where we are. But so, we're gonna get, maybe, what do we expect, $1 million for the property? But now we're gonna spend 500, so we're back to where we started. So, it's.
But yes, but we're benefiting our residents along
In
that
addition to that, right.
strip.
In
We got
addition
the
to that.
added benefit, even if we break even, like you said, the added benefit of all those extra homes that might be able to tie in, even if it's one or three whose systems are failing, or decide, I'm gonna move out in 3 years, my property's gonna be more valuable being tied in, and they're gonna tie in.
I think we're saying the same thing, because it doesn't make sense just to do it for those without the benefit of everyone else tying in. I just want to see a plan that says, here's all the properties, this is the ownership, have a meeting where people say, yes, I want sewer, or no, I don't want sewer, have that dialogue. And then let's just do some borings on the road, because I'm very skeptical about bringing the sewer from all the way Centennial Court, all the way up Market, up the road, all gravity to that depth with no borings. So if we vote for this and then decide, okay, we're gonna do it, and then it's $1 million, are we still saying the same thing? Does it make sense to bring $1 million of investment for how many properties? You know, so there's usually a process of conceptual and design development that you get to get to a number. That number that Beta gave to us was because we asked how much it was gonna cost in very short order, and they're the first ones to say, we haven't done any borings. And it's called Granite Street for a reason, in the high water tables, and we're going down 18 feet. That is only partially recognized in the cost estimate.
But that plan didn't go up to Granite Street, just went down Rock Hill.
But I'm being
Rock Hill.
facetious, Granite, yeah,
Yeah.
well, okay, Rock Hill.
Hill, right, yeah, no. but I
Same
mean,
thing,
but
Rock
that
Hill.
was- But the Granite Street
Yeah, I
area
know, I'm
was
just
phase
saying,
two.
They call it that for a reason,
So
because
then the
No, no,
question
no, I
is, you know, there's no
unsuitable.
money to do conceptual plans. I mean, there's no money, I mean, we haven't got any money to do that stuff. So again, we're back to which comes first, the chicken or the egg. I mean, I guess what's frustrating me is the fact that we went out, we got the study done, we did everything we said we were gonna do, and now we're saying we need more. Okay, that's fine. If we need more, and that's a decision, then we'll live with it and go on. But we know that what we've done so far hasn't worked. And so I think that's the reason why I'm showing some level of frustration here. And it's good dialogue to have. I mean, I'm glad we're having it. But, you know,
I think
I just-
before we present this to town meeting, we need, I mean, I agree with Jim on this. I'm not opposed to doing it, the way, I wasn't at the meeting last week,
Yeah.
heard bits and pieces, but we're going with nothing really. You know, it might be $500,000. We don't know that.
Yeah. I mean, I have the same frustration, but you're saying, you know, you did all this work. My frustration is June, July, August, September, October, November, and we got an email today on a sewer, you know, and we got 2 weeks to put this together. My
I
frustration
understand.
is,
I understand.
I think we're saying the same thing, but I
Yeah.
wanna see,
So then the question
numbers.
is, where's the money gonna come for conceptual design? I mean, if we're gonna do that, then we should make some money available, we should appropriate some money for conceptual design. Because if we don't do that, we're not gonna get that. That's why I think you have to look at that article. If you wanna get that level of information, you're gonna have to appropriate some money to do that.
So can we turn that article into
Well, if
money
the-
for a conceptual design?
You could. Fund downtown sewer infrastructure, and it's open for that consideration. You can look at a conceptual design plan. And then you'll have cost estimates, all the things that go with that. We'll have borings, we'll have all those things that go with it, and that'll give you the information you need.
so the money spent for the conceptual design, and part of the concept is where are the properties and what the betterment is going to be, so that it's in fairness to the
Yeah,
people in
that's
town, what they're gonna pay or what they're not gonna pay.
Right.
And I think that level, is an easier sell to the town-wide people, the 150 people that show up to vote, that might not even be on sewer,
Right.
that have a love for downtown, to give them some assurances that we're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, and to your I want sewer in the area, I want the area to get developed, but I think it's just, at the last minute, we're putting something on there, and it could crash and burn because it's the last minute.
And it has before.
I think the worst thing we can do is rush something to town meeting, and everyone was looking at us like, you wanna do what? Why? And
Understood.
So,
All right,
and
so
if
I
you-
guess my point is, but let's do something. I mean, and I guess what is it that you want to achieve, so we can get something going, so we can get the information that everybody's comfortable with before we take it to an annual town meeting, if that's the case, and then ask for everybody's opinion at that
Right.
point.
So how about appropriating funds for a sewer study that shows the limits of the properties that can get sewer by gravity?
Yeah.
With money to do some borings, to figure out a real design.
Some conceptual
Yeah,
design.
and at the end of that exercise, the concept will show sewer limits, property limits, and conceptual costs. So when people vote it, either in or out of that district, they know what they're getting into. You know, because if I had a business in the downtown, and it's gonna cost me $50,000 to tie in, then I can say, well, I can replace my septic system for 30, or I can invest in 50 and get much more development. But without those numbers, I wouldn't vote for this or
See,
against
some of the
it.
things that we have to think about, though, is the fact, some of those people just can't replace their systems because they don't have the room to do it.
Right, but that's why we want the
That's why
list
we need
from
to-
Board of Health, and I think that's an important component to it.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the product of rushing. I'm seeing
Stop and shop.
Rodman is on a tight tank. I'm seeing, these people that are not even near this area. And this is,
Right, that was just a complete list of tight tanks, period. That's
Yeah,
all,
but
that's all we
it-
have.
but-
Yeah.
Really wasn't.
it's not helpful to what we're doing, though, you know? And I'm not bad. We're all in the same boat. We're
No,
trying to,
that's
we're
right,
trying
yeah.
to get
We're all
this,
trying to
but
get to the
it's-
same place.
yeah.
That's,
And I
and I
think- I
appreciate
think
that.
like-
That's why I'm glad we have the
I
conversation.
think like some of the other issues that we brought forward to town meeting were successful on, we took a step back and we provided the information, we did the homework, and we did the studies, and, we were able to, market the plan.
I'm all for that. That's fine.
So
I just didn't want to pass the opportunity to not do something.
No, we
I think is
definitely
really
have to
important.
do something. I think we're all in agreement of that. I think it's a timing issue, but if we can take this and appropriate some funds to take the next step. All right, now we have a basis of a budget and a conceptual plan. Now we gotta turn that into some sort of working document that we can present and market.
Kinda like we did with Town Hall.
Kinda. Which is going very
Well,
well,
that took
by
a
the
lot,
way.
that took a lot longer.
Yeah.
Well, this will too, if we
I know,
go
if we're
to
not
town
kidding, that's
meeting
why,
like this.
that's why I don't wanna keep missing opportunities, because the last thing I wanna see is this thing drag on, because, it's been dragging on for way too long as it is now. I wanna see if we can take some real
No,
progression
it's
step.
on there. Let's take
Let's
advantage
start
of
to
it
get it
and let's take this to the next step. But I
Right.
mean, if you look at it, even if it gets approved, even if we did say, all right, we're gonna spend the $460,000.
Mhm.
It's November. You're not gonna do anything until after annual town meeting anyway.
No, but you could have all the bidding done, everything ready to go, and you get a new contract awarded, and you'll be ready to start in the spring.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have to wait till probably the summer.
Well, but-
Or the fall.
That's okay. Now you can certainly do borings now, this time of year.
Yes, absolutely. Now's a good time to do them, actually.
Yeah, you can do a lot of the base work.
The design stuff now, so, okay, fair enough. Well, that was good, that was a good discussion, I appreciate that, so. Mary Beth, anything else you wanna talk about?
On the warrant list,
Just the one other item, the package store license,
mhm.
the discussion's gonna be at the, Economic Development Committee discussion tomorrow night, and then it'll be at the AdCom afterwards. So we'll get a better handle on where that is, okay?
By looking at this, AdCom's talked about every other warrant article already, besides
Yeah,
that.
the only other one that's hanging out is the steelworker pay plan, and that's, we hope to have more discussion on that Monday night.
Monday night,
Monday
if
night.
we have the joint meeting with the school committee, we're shooting to have a presentation to you.
Before that,
Before that meeting.
that's why I think we may have to start at 6:30 instead of 7. just
So we'll do that in an executive session.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The rest of the stuff is in good shape, I think, for the AdCom, so. All right, so thank you.
I don't have anything for selections update. Does anybody have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hanging baskets downtown look awesome.
Nice job, Bill.
Now that they're up and hanging.
Hey, listen, you know,
That's a great-
lesson learned on that one for me. That's-
On how to do it, but they
Yeah.
look great.
They do. I just, and there'll be a good place to hang, you know, stuff for the winter time and all that stuff. But yeah, no, lesson learned. If you're gonna do them all at once, right? You know, so, but thank you for saying
I
that.
did
Appreciate
want to remind everybody that this weekend's daylight savings time.
Change your batteries.
Change your batteries.
Change your
and
batteries.
Smoke detectors.
You know, Anderson, we don't have a regular meeting, although we have a meeting next week. But Veterans Day, the Veterans Day service on 11 o'clock on 11/11 here. Mike Johns and team usually puts on a really good display.
So just
It's
just
a
so
great-
I know, so it's Friday, the 11th.
Yep.
And what happens on that day?
There's a ceremony at the high school, starts at 11 o'clock. It's actually very well done. There is usually a guest speaker, and this year's guest speaker is is an excellent person. He was the gentleman who spoke at the State House the time when Father Matt received his award, and he was an Iwo Jima veteran, and he's terrific. So I strongly encourage anyone who'd like to see, you know, this is a legitimate, you know, veteran hero who's going to speak at this meeting, who's really, really good. So I strongly encourage people to go. It's a great day. It lasts usually about an hour.
Yeah.
We have a list of speakers. We got to
All at the auditorium?
all at the high school auditorium, and there's usually a light reception afterwards.
And the serenading seniors.
That's right, and they do a nice
Patriotic
job, and they
songs.
sing a
They do a
lot
good
of
job.
great patriotic songs, and it's really, really well done.
Thank you.
Regret to inform you that neither one of us will be there that day, though. We're both going to be out of state.
Yeah, we coordinated,
I don't know how that happened again, but well, I'm going to be in Maine. You're going to be in what,
California.
California. So just the way it worked. So
Is that your town manager update?
that's my town manager update. How's that? Well, we've got a lot going on, but there's it's all good. I think the budget discussion I had today with Randy was a really good one. So yeah, I'm hoping that we'll have a really good discussion on Monday night too as well. So that joint meeting is planned for Monday night, probably right back in this room here, like we do every year. And so I'm looking forward to that. I think that's it. We hoping everybody can join us on Friday. Pretty excited about that opportunity. A lot of great people to thank in that effort. You know, between Paige Duncan, who wrote most of the grant, Roger Hill, who stepped up and got some real help with us on the design stuff, Chris Gallagher, the same thing, the state representative, the state senator. A lot of people just jumped in to really help that effort. So it was just you know, we made some calls behind the scenes to try to, you know, to advocate for our cause, and the developer did what he said he was going to do and got the design going as well. So it was really a really good team effort, as Representative mentioned earlier. And then you know, we called over the Mansfield. The Mansfield within a day had a letter to the state advocating for our cause as well. And we've helped them on theirs, and it's a great exchange of support. This one's right on the line, so it actually benefits them as well as it benefits us. So it's really, there's a lot of benefits going around the table in this one. So it's all good.
I tell you, for a small town, there's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting. There's a lot of great stuff going on in this community right now, so really happy to see that. And just certainly want to welcome on the latest edition.
There you go.
Thank you.
So we're excited about her being here as well. So that's all I have to say.
I have a quick question for you, Bill.
Sure.
Through the chair, if that's okay. You know, we have 3 major roads going over railroad tracks, and it just seems like they're breaking down. Whose responsibility is that? Is that the town to?
Well, if they're on town roads, it's our responsibility to do that. And we're actually, there are a couple of them that are scheduled to be fixed. I think Elm is one of them. I think is going to be fixed. And then there was, the one other one,
North Street's horrible.
North
If you've ever
Street's
been
horrible, yeah.
down.
I mean, the actual, we actually work almost within the right-of-way, the rail right-of-way, but we wanted, it's unfortunate, but those are old crossings, and the newer crossings have a much better design, so that, you can actually pave right up to the edge. It's a much cleaner line, whereas these rails were actually right into the pavement almost.
Yeah.
And
With
so
the wood,
it-
with the wood timber
with the
still
wood
up there.
timbers, and it's much more difficult to keep that in good shape. So unless we were successfully able to get the rail companies to pay for those, which is not very successful from what I've seen in the past. You're not likely to see it happen now. Actually, that particular crossing is actually under the control of the MBTA now. And I don't think they have any extra money these days either, so.
Just wondering.
Okay.
Just a quick reminder, Jenny just keeps reminding me, and I keep forgetting to say it. If you are a veteran or a family member of a veteran, and you would like a turkey delivered by kids and a card, we've got Mary Smith's Taylor kids are making cards, Christine St. Pierre's Boy Scout, Cub Scout troop is making cards, and the kids will deliver it to your house, so we're
Right.
not looking, I mean, if you want to make a donation, but request is, a lot of the seniors don't use email. We
Mhm.
actually physically got to call them and get the list. So if there's anyone out there that wants a turkey and a package from the kids, just get a hold of us and we'll put you on the list.
Just one other thing I wanted to mention was that Mike Saig, who has requested to increase his parking lot this evening, his nephew tragically passed over the weekend. He was a young gentleman from Mansfield, 45 years old, died very suddenly. So he could not make it obviously tonight. But he did his parking lot did pass all the requirements under the planning board. So we do have that information for you for tonight. That's on the action items tonight. Otherwise, he would have been here.
Mary Beth?
I do have a few updates. Early voting has been a huge success. As of last night, I think we had over 1,700 people who had voted early, and an additional 500 absentee ballots. So I think we were at about 15%, according to the town clerk. And just a shout out to the town clerk staff. They are working.
They're working really
weekend,
hard.
They're working really hard. They're up
Yeah.
and down the stairs with buckets of ballots, and there's always a line. And, despite the parking challenges, people are coming in and voting, and it's kind of fun. It's like old-time town hall, seeing it buzzing with people all the time.
Now, question, I went in Saturday morning to pick up my packet and wasn't even thinking voting, and there was a line out the door. So are those, the stalls set up there like permanently, like they were on
They're all during the
Saturday?
workday, yeah. So
Okay.
it's kind
Yeah.
of tight, but it's working.
Yep.
And plus, there's people paying their taxes too at the same
Yeah.
time, so.
Yeah, I tell you,
So it's been pretty cramped in there.
It was
the past few days.
busy as
On
heck on
Saturday?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Nonstop.
Yeah.
And it was
Wow.
perfect. My son was home
Yeah?
from college. I'm like, get up there now, vote.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
People have really
and
liked it.
his staff
you know.
they were great.
Yeah.
They have been, so great and
Bob
pleasant
Cutler and his staff have
working-
been
they're
tremendous,
working
yeah.
really hard.
So when does that go until?
So
It goes until this Friday.
It goes until Friday at
yeah.
12:30.
Okay.
November 4th. And then, of course, a reminder that Election Day is November 8th, so if you don't vote early, vote then.
But for a lot of the seniors, it's been tremendous for them because, unfortunately, we've had a lot of construction in the parking lot during that same time frame, so it made it somewhat difficult to navigate at times. But people have been very appreciative of the fact that they can get in and vote without having to wait in long lines to get that done. So,
If you come tomorrow, there's plenty of Halloween candy
There you go.
please eat it. We don't want it around.
Just one other thing, Bill and I had the pleasure last week of teaching in a boot camp. We hosted it here in Foxboro through the Mass Municipal Managers Association, and 50 people who want to be assistant town managers and town managers attended. It's an all-day program, and we were both on the panel of presenters, and it was really great. It was a great day. got so many compliments from these folks on our public safety building, and there's plenty of parking there, so it was a great event. They do it once a year, and we were happy to host it here in Foxboro.
Well, we'll bring them in the new town hall next year.
Yeah, next year we'll do it there.
So,
And then just working really hard with new Police Chief Baker on looking to bring on 2 lateral transfer police officers for 2 vacancies, so we're close on announcing who they are, and we're in the process of, we've posted for it, and we're planning for an assessment center to determine 2 sergeant promotions. We also have 2 vacancies there, so we're, navigating our way through the civil service red tape, but that's all going very, very well.
if there's any question about the new chief's energy level, just come on by for a few minutes and watch.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
So
He's a
a
busy guy.
consultant was selected for the assessment center. It'll be held in December, and we're hoping to get the lateral transfers on by the end of November, and that's about it. Did you have anything?
Good.
For your 2 days here.
She knows where the bathroom in the parking lot is.
Awesome. Action items?
Move to approve an increase of spaces for commercial parking permit lot 95 expiring 6/30/2017.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $1,000 to the Boyden Library for the restoration of The Charming Girl Reading a Book to Her Cat artwork, and to purchase materials for the children's collection with the remaining funds from Margaret and Stanley, with the remaining funds. This is from Margaret and Stanley Planton in memory of Barbara and Stanley Planton Sr.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $470 to the Council on Aging for programs held at the Senior Center from Friends of Foxboro Seniors.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $100 to Animal Control for animal care from Kerry Pegram.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $450 to Recreation to be used for one child's registration to the Booth Summer Program and one mother-son dodgeball registration from Jenna Strickland.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $850 to the Council of Aging to be used to pay for half of 2 trips to Newport, Rhode Island from the Friends of Foxboro Senior.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to acceptance of the resignation from Michael Kelleher from the Conservation Commission effective 10/17/16.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to appoint James Murphy as an election worker with the term expiring 9/1/2017.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Move to accept a gift donation in the amount of $35 to the Council on Aging for the Lockbox Program from Anonymous.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Barry, you have anything?
Yes, I do.
How come I wouldn't, I should have guessed otherwise, right?
All right, Barry Duna, Foxborough Reporter newspaper. Just a quick, when is the bidding day? When's the bidding day going to be happening for electricity aggregate?
We don't know yet, Barry. We're still waiting for approval from the Department of Public Utilities on the plan.
Excellent.
Once that happens, then we'll have everybody handle that.
Excellent, very good. And for how, the plan is for how many years would we be entering
Well,
into it?
The thought, we don't know, it could be 1, 2, or 3 years, it really depends upon what the bid says.
Excellent. Oh, so the bid is for both the electricity price and for length of time.
Yes, that's right, it can be done it'll be coming both ways.
Excellent, very good. So, thing is, you have authorization, but we really don't know until we hear from them and
That's
until we see the
correct.
bids.
Right.
But yeah, very good. There's one other thing. Say, stop shaming your family, Vera.
I'm sure you'll ask me tomorrow.
Certainly I'll ask you tomorrow. Yeah, no, I will ask you all tomorrow about that. So I think that's about it. You may adjourn.
Thank you.
Thanks, Father.
Father Bearer.
Can I have a motion on Bara's recommendation?
Move, thank you, Barra, to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good night, everybody.
Right, thanks.
Thank